What's up everyone, and welcome back to more Reddit stories about entitled people, crazy people, and really just anything else we find interesting. You know how it goes around here. So be sure to subscribe for more Reddit content if you haven't already, and let's get right into today's stories. The day I became a goat butler. You know those work shifts that leave you thinking, did that really just happen? Well, this was one of those. I've been a concierge at a posh London hotel for years, so I've seen my fair share of oddball requests. Guests wanting dinner reservations at places that don't exist anymore, room service orders at 4 a.m. for a different hotel, and half-baked marriage proposals. But nothing prepared me for Brenda. It was a slow night when she walked in, a sweet old lady, kind of like Maggie Smith and Nanny McPhee, with a hippie twist. She had a suitcase in one hand and a lead in the other. At the end of the lead, Brenda, the goat. She beamed at me and said, "This is Brenda, my emotional support animal." Now, our hotel is smack dab in central London, and we have a strict no pets policy. But emotional support animals, that's a gray area. After a quick chat with my manager, we gave her the green light. I thought, how hard can this be? Spoiler, I was wrong. I grabbed her suitcase and took it up the stairs, turning back to find her still at the bottom with Brenda. She smiled and said, "Oh, Brenda doesn't walk on floors. I don't like her exerting herself. Someone usually carries her." Then she looked at me, waiting. Working at a high-end hotel means saying yes to just about anything, so I did. Brenda was heavier than she looked, but smelled surprisingly pleasant. Carrying her across the lobby, I felt all eyes on me. One bloke even whipped out his phone to film. Great, just what I needed. My goat-toting debut on TikTok. We got to the lift and Brenda wasn't having the metal floor either, so I held her all the way up to the ladies' room. Mission accomplished, right? Not quite. Over the next 2 days, I became Brenda's personal chauffeur. To the lobby, to the smoking area, even arranging dinner outings. Yes, I booked a dinner reservation for a goat. When they finally checked out, the lady thanked me. Just a simple thank you, nothing else. My job is a crazy experience sometimes. Cheating husband is mad at me that his parents found photographic evidence of his cheating. I, female 30, kicked my husband, 28, out of my house. It was my house prior to us getting married, and it remains my house now. I knew when I married him that he was bisexual. I was okay with it as long as he understood that we were monogamous. I said that I would never agree to an open relationship, and if that was what he wanted, he needed to be with someone else. He agreed and said that I was the person he wanted to be with, and that I was more than enough to satisfy him. He lied. I found out he was having an affair with a man. He had a bunch of pictures of their escapades. I went through his iPad and took all the pictures for myself. Graphic, in a Mapplethorpe kind of way. When I confronted him, he became physically aggressive. I was scared. He calmed down when I got Siri to call 911. He left. Anyway, I did not want him in my house again ever. When he wanted his things, I asked him to make a list and send it to me. I found every single thing on the list. I asked him where to send the box. He said he would pick it up. I told him that I would not let him set foot in my house and that I would call the cops if he tried. He said he would send friends to get his stuff. I said I would leave his box of crap with the front desk at my work. He didn't want to make them drive into the city. We compromised, and I agreed to give his parents a temporary code for my house. They are lovely people, and I trusted them. I could see everything on my security system, and I would know if he tried getting into my house. The deal was that they would use the code, get the box from the front entrance, then close and lock the door. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I guess he didn't have everything on his list. He asked his parents to get something from my bedroom while they were there. Not the deal at all. I had pictures of his infidelity in my room in my chest of drawers, in an envelope. So to reiterate, to find these pictures, his mom had to go past our agreed limit into my house. She then had to enter my bedroom, open my chest of drawers, open an envelope, and look at what was inside. I felt violated watching the video. Then I giggled like a little kid. It was hilarious. I see them come into the house. They use the code and open the door. His dad comes in and grabs the box. He goes back to their vehicle with the box. His mom hesitates before walking into my house and going into my room. She goes to my chest and opens the top drawer where we keep a box full of jewelry. She sees an envelope with his name on it. She looks around. I'm not sure why. Then she looks at the contents. She screams, I assume, since I have my feed on video only. Then she stuffs the pictures back in, closes the drawer, and goes running for the truck. My father-in-law comes to the door, locks it, and leaves. I guess he never told his parents about his proclivities. To say that this has created a problem for him is to take it lightly. I get a call from him. He says I left the pictures out for his parents to find. I did not. I should have scattered them on top of the box his parents picked up, but that felt cruel and unnecessary. Like I said, I have always found them to be lovely people. I told him where the pictures were. He said that he forgot about a ring he left off the list, and he told his mom where it should be. I said I would have tossed it in the box if he told me. He said he forgot until they were on their way. He is upset that his parents know he is a power bottom. He is not happy at their house now, and he is going to find somewhere else to stay. He said I'm a jerk for causing this problem. Boyfriend is mad I left his office Christmas party after he repeatedly humiliated me in front of his coworkers. This happened last weekend and I can't stop thinking about it. My boyfriend, 30, invited me, 28 female, to his company's Christmas dinner, and I was excited but also nervous. I wanted to make a good impression, so I spent a lot of time picking the perfect outfit, doing my hair, and ensuring I was presentable. When we arrived, everything seemed fine at first. I introduced myself to his coworkers and they were polite, if not a little stiff. As the night went on though, things took a turn. During dinner, my boyfriend made a joke about my job. I'm an event planner and he works in corporate finance. He said something like, she just plans parties for a living while I'm out here making real money. People laughed, but I felt a lump in my throat. I work hard and I'm proud of what I do, so hearing him belittle me like that stung. I tried to laugh it off to keep things light, but then he doubled down. Someone asked about my favorite event I'd planned, and before I could answer, he interrupted, saying, probably one of those kids' birthday parties. That's her level of expertise. Everyone laughed again, and I just sat there mortified. The final straw came during dessert when people were sharing funny stories. He decided to tell an embarrassing story about me that I've explicitly asked him not to share before. It's a personal story from early in our relationship involving a mishap I had while meeting his parents. I was practically begging him with my eyes to stop, but he told the story anyway. I felt like I couldn't breathe. Everyone was laughing and I wanted to disappear. I quietly told him I wasn't okay with what he was doing, but he brushed me off, saying, "Don't be so uptight, it's all in good fun." At that point, I couldn't take it anymore. I excused myself, thanked the host, and left. When he got home, he was furious, accusing me of embarrassing him by leaving. He said I made him look bad in front of his coworkers and that I was being overly sensitive. Now he's refusing to apologize and insists I owe him an apology for overreacting. My friends are split. Some say I should have stayed and dealt with it later, while others think he crossed the line. I think it was totally fair that OP felt uncomfortable enough to want to leave. This sounds like one of those situations where you meet a significant other's group of friends or acquaintances for the first time, and as a result, you also see how your significant other acts around these people. Which can also mean that you might see a side of your partner that you've never actually seen before, for better or worse. And for whatever reason, OP's boyfriend was basically using her as a comedy device, making jokes at her expense and belittling her every chance he got. Whether he's insecure or he's just trying to impress his coworkers, who knows? But the fact of the matter is, it was pretty messed up. And I think OP's boyfriend is only mad at her for walking out because he knows that it made him look like a jerk in front of his coworkers. Rightfully so. Which is probably why he's not even bothering to consider his girlfriend's feelings in this situation. Which should be his first priority, but I guess his image and looking cool in front of his coworkers is more important. Park in driveway? Get stuck for 2 weeks. This is a story I heard from a friend today. Just for context, my friend's house has a small driveway, but large bushes on either side of it. It's on a street right next to a very popular park. On the 4th of July, the park was packed and street parking was hard to find. He was away, and when he came back to his house, some Karen had parked in his driveway. He decided to park blocking his driveway completely in his rarely used car. He then went inside and soon heard a knock at his door. It was Karen. She demanded that he would let her car out this very instant. He said that she stomped to exaggerate every syllable. He closed the door in her face. She called the police and they said that he was parked legally in his own driveway. She got a ride with someone super angry. The Karen apparently said that if he didn't move it by the morning, she would call her lawyer. In the morning, she came back and demanded the car be let out and complained about Ubers. The Karen let it slip that it was a rental car, and that she was visiting family and something along the lines of, "The kids need my car to get around. They'll be super sad." My friends shut her out. For the next 2 weeks, she came by daily, screaming at him. The Karen was supposed to leave 2 days after the 4th, but had to extend her stay just to get the car. He eventually moved the car, but then called a towing company to tow her car and informed her of it. A couple months ago, she sent a bill to them for the hotel. Her family kicked her out after a week. The rented car, the impound cost, and food at some of the most expensive places in town. It was over $5,000. It went in the bin. I just thought it was so funny that I had to post it here. I guess she learned her lesson. Don't park in strangers' driveways. Man claims his toilet doesn't work because I'm a woman. I work as a handywoman as a side hustle, and last week I received a call from a man wanting to install a new toilet. He told me the model he wanted to buy, and I suggested against it, since some of my other customers had an issue that causes the tank to leak into the toilet bowl, wasting water. He said he'd think about it and scheduled an appointment for me to install the toilet a few days later. I went over to his place and mentioned we spoke on the phone. He was an older man in his 70s. "You're the handyman?" he said, skeptical. "I thought you were just the receptionist and you'd be sending a man." I'm very used to sexist comments like this, so I just shrugged and said that I don't see how my gender matters. He didn't say anything else, and he showed me to the toilet. I saw that it was the model I advised against, but I didn't say anything more. I installed the toilet, he paid me, and everything was fine. On the day before Thanksgiving, I received a call from the same guy. He said, "I knew I shouldn't have trusted a female to install the toilet. It keeps leaking water into the toilet bowl. My water bill's going to go up." Still trying to be respectful, I told him that this has nothing to do with my installation, and that a man would have had the same problem, since this toilet has a defect that I've seen frequently. I explained that he'd have to call the toilet company and get a replacement part under warranty. Then he can call me back and I'd install it for free. He yelled, "You're a f***ing bitch and I'm never going to let you or another female touch my toilet again," and hung up on me. Alright, that's going to do it for today, guys. What a nice, pleasant person to end the video with. If you enjoyed today's stories and want to see more content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and drop a like on the video. So take care, friends, and I'll see you next time.